Hello and happy Metta Monday. This is a short video created to support you in connecting with your most authentic, happiest self. And I'm geeking out today on the heart. We're coming up on Valentine's Day on Friday, and yeah, I just had some inspiration yesterday with a yin yoga workshop where I focused on the heart meridian, which is a line of energy that runs through the body. So I'm just going to share some facts and hope it inspires you. I'll start with the yin information because I think it's got a useful set of homework that I gave my students that you might choose to do yourself. So a couple facts. The heart meridian runs from pinky to pinky across the heart. So just like this, through the heart, ending at the other pinky. And so fact number one is that it's really good if you're going to give somebody a hug to use both arms because it kind of completes the circuit. Another fact about the heart energy is that it is most active from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So this is when we are social, when we have lunch, so my homework for my group yesterday was between 11 and 1. If you work in a solitary way, make sure that you make a lunch date this week. And if you regularly, eat lunch at your desk, take a break from that and get away and meet up with somebody and be aware of your heart quality. If it's somebody that I hope it's somebody that you like hanging out with, just notice how that feels to be hanging out with this person. So a couple of tips and tricks on the heart meridian. So fact number 3 from the heart math solution is that the heart develops before the brain as a fetus. And this blew my mind, but the heartbeat can be detected as the fetus develops before the brain even forms. And so this goes to explain the fact that the heart has its own brain. There are 40,000 neurons. Maybe that's fact number 4. I'm not going to count the facts anymore because I never keep track. But there are 40,000 neurons in the heart alone. That's as many as are in the subcortical brain. So there is a lot more intelligence that we intuitively know than we think. We've kind of put the brain in the Western culture, we put the brain on a pedestal as the only seat of intelligence, but we actually have 3 brains: the gut, the heart, and then also the brain. And so, just remembering that the heart has its own intelligence, and it's deeper and it's simpler. We don't make things overcomplicated at the level of the heart or at the gut. And so, the invitation is just to remind oneself of the fact that the heart has its own brain and its own intelligence. And so if you place your hand over your heart, you're connected with the ventral vagal part of the parasympathetic nervous system. And so this is another fact that, we are wired to connect. And it's through this part of us where we are co-regulating our emotional and nervous systems. So as infants, we cannot manage our emotions independently. We rely on a balanced caregiver to be able to get us back to a calm state. And so the heart is the place where we connect and where we regulate through co-regulation and through self-regulation. Another fact is that this whole video series that I do every Monday is named after a heart quality. So Metta means loving kindness, and it is one of the 4 abodes of the heart. It is one of the 4 limitless qualities, as Thich Nhat Hanh calls them. And we each have an unlimited reservoir of loving kindness within ourselves. And so I guess that's my invitation as I do this video and as we think about romantic love as we approach Valentine's Day. That's one kind of love. It's also a kind of love that is like chock full of stories and conditioning. And so whether you have a Valentine or not in somebody else, I invite you to be your own Valentine as well. because love begins with unconditional love with and for the self. So the Metta practice, you begin sending yourself love. You fill up, and then you're able to give to a loved one, a neutral person, maybe a challenging person, but it always begins at the self. And as we send love outwards, it can take so many different forms, but I feel like if you've listened to any love song on the radio, we are really confused with what romantic love really is. And it is, wrapped up in all sorts of misconceptions. So I invite you to, in your mindfulness practice, take a more critical listen to some of the lines in love songs and see how much of it ties into the way you've been conditioned around romantic love. I didn't know I was going to end up here, but I am curious to see what this video brings up and what you noticed this week. So report back, send me a message, or send it in the comments of what do you notice when you listen to love songs or when you think about your own conditioning around romantic love, and let me know how it goes. And I hope that one other piece of homework, in addition to connecting with somebody else and connecting over lunch in that active window in the Chinese medicine body clock from 11 to 1, connecting with heart qualities and with others, I hope you also sit at least once with a Metta loving kindness practice. So the Metta phrases are, may I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be happy, may I be peaceful. And if you have 5 minutes, just send them to yourselves. Just repeat those 4 phrases. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. If you have more time, you can send them again to a loved one, a neutral person, and maybe a challenging person. And it doesn't have to be your most challenging person. But yeah, just a few invitations for practice. I'm passionate about promoting practices that support well-being, healing, and feeling full on a regular basis. I was scribbling in my journal about the word fulfillment. And I realized those 3 words, we are meant to feel full, to feel full and filled up. And so, that's my invitation, is to fill up this week with unconditional love towards yourself. And if you come up with any barriers or boundaries to that, write them down. Reach out to a friend or a therapist and talk about them. And if you have any barriers to sending love to yourself, just know that that's quite normal, and just something to know and not to judge, just to work through. So thanks for letting me ramble on. This is another rambling post, but I really appreciate those who tune in and listen, and I'm always open to suggestions for what I talk about, what I geek out about, and have a great day.